Welcome to The Awakened Heart, a podcast for healing women. I'm so glad you're here today. In this episode on the myth of being behind, lies we need to unlearn. If this resonates with you, this is for you. Anyone who's ever looked at their life and thought, shouldn't I be there by now? Shouldn't I have done more? Shouldn't I have figured this out already? Well, I'm Autumn Moran, licensed professional counselor in the state of Texas, life coach in Texas and beyond, yoga instructor. I'm a mom. I'm a veteran. I'm a human sharing my passion with anyone who wants it. But ultimately, I'm your companion on this divine and ever so bumpy road we call healing. If you like what you hear today, if you want to go deeper, check out my link tree in the show notes and fill out a consultation form for a free 15-minute chat to see if we're a good fit. So we can get you helping and going along your healing journey. All right. So I gave you a little teaser, trying a little new format where it's just a little teaser in my intro. It didn't flow well. I didn't like it. May not do that again, but here we are. Let's get into it. What if I told you ... that you are exactly where you're supposed to be? Not because of some spiritual bypass, not some toxic positivity, but because your nervous system, your healing, and your becoming are all unfolding on a timeline that honors your lived experiences. So kind of settle in with that, right? Maybe this is your lived experience, and you're right where you're meant to be. Take a nice deep inhale with me, if you will, and tell yourself, I am not late. And as you exhale, let it all out and tell yourself, I am right here. So, to define this, to get into it, to start off, it's essentially time anxiety. And it shows up often as self-criticism. You feel like you're racing against some invisible clock, or maybe the clock that everyone keeps reminding you of, or that society keeps reminding you of, and you hear thoughts like, I'm too old to start over. I should have it all figured out by now. Everyone else is moving forward while I'm stuck. So where does it come from? Often, you've probably guessed it by now if you've listened to my podcast. It's rooted in trauma. It's what we're here for. It's what's happening. When you grow up in survival mode, hypervigilance, always waiting for the next crisis that's shoe to drop, you lose your sense of natural pacing. You learn to rush through life or stay frozen in fear. So maybe you are spending or have spent your 20s taking care of your family or recovering from abuse or trauma. Maybe you went through years of survival work, jobs that drained you, relationships that took everything, and now you're starting fresh in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. Does that mean you're behind? No, my dear. It means your life story is just written in a different rhythm. In trauma recovery, there's something called time distortion. When we're healing, the nervous system is often toggling between the past and the future, rarely present. And this creates a feeling of being out of sync with life. But what if, instead of rushing to catch up, you asked, what pace feels safe for me now? And this is tricky because the pace that feels quote unquote safe for you now is the one that you do all the time, right? Not really. Because a lot of the times what we're using now that we're no longer needing to survive or ready to come out of survival mode, when we sit and stop and see the way we act and perform, we can see that it's a trauma response. It's survival mode. It's something that's no longer serving us for our greater good. But is this all because we've been traumatized or because of our lived experience as a neurodivergent living in a world that doesn't accommodate our brains? Where does this come from? It's not just personal, my dear. It's also systemic. We live in a culture obsessed with milestones and checklists, especially for women. By a certain age, you're fucking told that you should be married, have children, the perfect career, and look flawless while doing it with a fucking smile on your face. Your worth is often measured by your productivity, your appearance, and your ability to have it all. And if you deviate from that script, or if you have deviated from that script, what happens? You get the message that you're failing, that you're running out of time, or that you're less valuable. The patriarchy has always tied women's worth to their youth, beauty, and ability to nurture others. We're taught our lives have a prime, right? Like that we only have a certain amount of time before we expire, which seems to be in the 30s, which is so silly. It's so toxic and ugly because anyone that's beyond 30 in their 40s and 50s, they're going to tell you like it gets better. We're told that aging makes us irrelevant. You know, if you watch any sort of anything with Hollyweird, right? You know that they start knocking people off if they start not looking like little children, basically. We're told that our value peaks when we are most pleasing and least demanding, right? Don't demand too much. Be pleasing. Be agreeable. And this isn't just casual messaging. This isn't something you're reading too much into. It's oppressive conditioning that makes women feel like they're on the clock from the moment they turn 18. Sometimes even 16, 15, depending on what disgusting cultural area you live in the United States. And then you have to add misogyny to the mix. And women are constantly pressured to smile more. Hurry up and settle down, girl. You can't be solo. Don't be a little crazy cat lady. And then this word, what's that word that's been coming up? I've heard a couple of people. It must be a new buzzword for the dysfunctional. Not a floozy, not a hussy, but a Jezebel. Oh, oh. Get it out of here, right? Like, fuck all that shit. Or you get the message, or constantly pressured, especially in misogyny, don't be too ambitious. But also don't fall behind. So don't shine brighter than me, but shine bright enough so I can show you off. But not too much because I've got an ego. These messages keep women living in a cycle of what? Urgency. And what else? Self-doubt. Taking us away from our intuition, taking us away from our ingrained power as women to intune what is real. And they keep us believing that we have to rush through life to prove our worth. When we're the makers, we make this misogyny, we make this patriarchy. It's backwards. They duped us. They duped us, ladies. And for trauma survivors, for neurodivergent women, these pressures hit even harder because this is when you've got a strong sense of justice coming in. So it's obviously wrong and unjust. You've got your pattern recognition where you can see, like, how did we get here? Where did this go wrong? All of it, right? If you've spent years just trying to survive or find stability, our societal timeline can feel like a cruel reminder of everything you've quote unquote missed, right? Supposedly, perceivingly. But here's the truth. Your timeline isn't broken. society's expectations are. It's toxic, it's dysfunctional, it's unhealthy, it's gross. Your nervous system, your healing, and your joy don't follow a patriarchal clock. They follow your body's wisdom. Get in tune with you. That gut feeling is always right. We live in a culture that equates speed with success. But some of the most powerful growth happens in the slow, invisible seasons. Think of winter. The trees look dead, but their roots are strengthening beneath the soil. And our nervous systems need that too. Healing isn't about being loud and visible. Sometimes it's saying no to things that don't serve you. Taking a quiet walk instead of checking off something from your to-do list. Spending time journaling instead of networking or achieving or scrolling or commenting or sharing or creating. I mean, I am forever shedding layers, and I feel that it's something I will forever continue to do. Like, I just don't ever want to stop changing and growing and evolving. I want to just be the best human ever. I've experienced many seasons of hustle and many seasons of survival, and it left my nervous system so completely frayed and fried. I was a single mom, going through college, starting college in my 30s. All my college peers were younger than me. So it seemed that my actual peers were light years ahead of me, seemingly. And I say this seemingly, right? With great loudness. I had seasons of being a mom and wondering, am I enough? Will any of my efforts matter? Will these human beings like me when they have the choice to not be around me? Seasons of making choices based on what society has said is what's best for me. I've also always experienced this feeling of being behind, but also being eons ahead of my peers. It's very weird. It's very DBT of me. I can't even say words this morning, so it's very DBT of me, dialectical. There we go. But through these moments and layers of life, like I have genuinely found that slowing down and resting without guilt are hidden treasures that we all need to use. Hang back, say no, spend some time with yourself, self-soothing, meditating, chanting, crying, coloring, dancing. Just be a kid with yourself. And speaking of DBT, DBT teaches a concept which is called radical acceptance. And it means to fully accept the reality of where you are right now without judgment. It's not right or wrong. It's not good or bad. This is the reality. It doesn't mean you stop growing. It means you stop fighting against the truth of your current season. Let that all should go. This doesn't mean you like or approve of what happened. It doesn't mean you give up on growth or change. It means I see this moment for what it is without adding layers of suffering by fighting reality. I worked in a psych hospital for a bit, and there was, I did the group therapy outpatient side for a while, and there was a group therapist there that did the adults. And shout out to Kevin, man, what a riot. And I tell this story all the time. Stop shooting yourself. You're shooting all over yourself. It's gross. It's ugly. Don't do it. he would tell his adult clients that, and he would get so tickled. And it is so funny when I'm in the moment and we can say it. I don't know if it was funny now because I was being so serious. But seriously, you're shitting all over yourself, sis. Quit it. It's messy. It's nonsensical. Nobody wants it, even you. So stop doing it. Accept the moment as it is. Okay, this is where I am. This is what's happened. Now, what do I want to do to move forward? What are my action steps to be better, to do better, to live the life that I want to live? And when you feel behind, you might spiral into, I wasted so many years. I should have figured this out already. If I've only made better choices, I'd be further along, yada, 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 right? But radical acceptance invites you to pause and say, this is where I am. This is my timeline. And I choose what's next from here, not from a place of shame. But for trauma experienced women, it can feel quite terrifying to accept reality, because reality often included pain, neglect, or abuse. It might feel like excusing what happened. There might be a belief system that self-blame or perfectionism will protect you from being hurt again. But radical acceptance offers the opposite. You can think of it in something like this. I didn't deserve what happened. I can grieve what I lost, and I can move forward without carrying the weight of what if. I'm going to take a sip. Think about that. So, some radical acceptance practices. Naming without judging. It's not good or bad. It's not right or wrong. It's not, I'm a failure for not being married by 35. It's saying, I'm 35 and living my own beautiful path. I'm 35 and what I do with my life is happiness. It doesn't have to look like everyone else's cookie cutter life. Talking about the shoulds, release the shoulds. Stop shoulding yourself, period. No more. Take it out your vocabulary. Chuck it in the fuck it bucket. Like, let it go. Replace your shoulds with I'm here and that's okay. Find some self-soothing statements. This is hard, but I can work with where I am. This is hard, but I have fucking dreams that I want to make come true. I can't change the past, but I can shape my future. I can't change my path and I can't change my past, but I've got control of my future. And then check in with your body. Yes, don't ever forget the nervous system and your body's sensations, right? Like, use your breath, use some grounding techniques to remind your nervous system that you're safe right now. I mean, acceptance often starts in the body before the mind. So letting the tension go, relaxing the tension, noticing it, telling it that it's okay, taking moments when you're with yourself or just somewhere, practicing breathing, practicing relaxing, practice calming your body down, telling it that it's safe. So I have a thought prompt for you. What if this slower chapter of your life is not a failure, but a sacred pause? Like, time for you to kind of get your shit in order and your wits about you, and to not feel so frayed and wired and kind of come out fresh on the other side. I don't know if I brought it home, but I'm going to say it again. Society's timeline, that's a myth. Marriage by 30, career peak by 40, retire by 60. I am not a scientist. I don't do studies, but I can notice patterns and recognize things in society that seem off versus the reality. Careers, 401ks don't stay with the employer anymore, so there's no reason to really stay with one place unless it's a great place. Lots of people, if they're really honest with themselves, kind of get tired every 5 to 10 years, need to switch up, need to change. So maybe it's not about having a career for your whole life. Maybe it's about having multiple careers until you're just find your sweet spot. Marriage can come whenever it wants to come. It's not, it goes back to decentralizing romance from your life. Like, yes, romance is great. I am in no way bashing or hating love or anything. Like, it's beautiful. But there's also so much more to life and so much more to you and to finding out about you and yourself that doesn't even involve romance. It just, you can bloom when you're ready to fucking bloom. Like, society is the mud and we're the lotus, and we're just going through the mud and the muck, getting through it, looking through the light, and we bloom when there's light, and then when it gets muddy again, we go back down. And don't let society's mud and muck sway your path. Encourage your path. Do what feels good to you. Because rarely do healing, growth, and self-discovery follow any of those timelines, any of those age markers. I mean, I have some examples of some late bloomers. I'll share mine, and then I'll share some profound ones. I'm not saying mine's not profound, but I'm not famous. I went back to school in my 30s. I graduated graduate school in my 30s. I started my private practice in my 40s. I'm doing great. I support myself. I'm happy. So I'm saying I have lived the experience of not following the societal path. And it was fun. It was hard. It was all of it. So it can happen. You can start doing anything at any age if that's what you want to do. You are allowed to change your mind and pivot at any time. Harriet Thompson, she's 76 or was 76. No, I'm sorry. At 76, she became a marathon runner. That's huge. At 91, she became the oldest woman to complete a marathon. That's beautiful. Vera Wang, the fashion designer, she didn't enter the industry until her 40s. When she was 40, she designed her first wedding dress. And she has one of the most iconic fashion brands. Shonda Rhimes, she created Grey's Anatomy at 35, but didn't become a household name and one of the most powerful women in TV until her 40s. She's known for Bridgerton, Scandal, Private Practice, and more. So there's no deadline on your purpose. Instead of thinking, I'm behind, try saying, I was surviving and now I'm ready to create. All right, here's a thought prompt. Here's a journal prompt. At what age, write down at the ages at which you think you should have done certain things. Then ask yourself, who told me that? Whose timeline is that? Is it my timeline? Essentially, I'm asking you to look for the evidence that this is a real belief or a bullshit belief. And what if you just measured your life by your values instead of society's? Milestones don't have to be weddings, promotions, buying houses. They can be the first time you have said no without guilt, the first day you rested on purpose without guilt, the first time you felt safe enough to speak your truth, listening to your gut instead of over-explaining or overthinking, not texting or calling someone just to keep the peace, publishing something, sharing your voice, or creating art you once thought wasn't good enough, or that was once turned down by someone who told you it wasn't good enough. Allowing yourself to try something new without worrying about being perfect. Creating a morning or evening ritual that's just for you. Cooking a meal or cleaning your space because it feels good, not out of obligation. Create a list of your own milestones, not accomplishments. Moments where you showed up for yourself in small but powerful ways. This shifts the focus from catching up to celebrating your growth. Keep yourself present, ladies. Ask yourself, am I safe right now? Name things you see. Name things that are touching your skin, where your feet are. Name what you hear. Just use your senses to keep you in the moment. And then use the DBT skill of radical acceptance. Are you really failing? Or are you comparing yourself to someone else's highlight reel? What's true about your progress? Start telling yourself that you are exactly where you need to be in this moment. If you were meant to be anywhere else, that's where you'd be. But right now, this is where you are. What do you want to do with it? How do you want to pivot? How do you want to make action steps? In 5 years, if you're sitting pretty, completing your 5-year goal, what would she tell you to do? How would she advise you to take the next step? What things would she be doing in a daily basis in her luxury life? And how can you do that now? All right, let's take a nice deep breath, my dears. Inhale deeply. Exhale completely. You are not behind. You are not late. Every season you've lived has taught you something. Every delay has shaped you in ways that a rushed life never could. You're exactly where you need to be. Not because everything is perfect, but because your path is your own. This is a part 2 of an episode that I've done before of the myth of being behind. If you want to dive deeper or learn a little more, I made this for the individuals that episode resonated with as more of a deeper dive. I hope it gave you a little bit more insight. Please share this episode with someone if it resonated with you. Follow, comment, send me a message. And like I said earlier in the episode, if you want to go deeper, check out the show notes in my link tree. There's resources. There's a playlist for women to just put some good, wholesome sound in your ear. And also there's a consultation form to fill out if you want to meet with me for free 15 minutes to chat to see if we're a good fit for weekly meetings, weekly sessions to help you on your journey. All right. One more breath. Inhale deeply. And as you inhale, I would like for you to say to yourself, I am on time for my life. Exhale out the mouth, let it out, and say to yourself, I am right where I need to be. Until next time, my dears, may you be happy and free. May mine and your healing ripple outward to bless the world with happiness and freedom. Take care of you, and I'll see you soon.